Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you about a scenario today. So we hear this a lot where we're talking about things like OODA, we're talking about situational awareness and how that plays into our overall security and well-being. Um, and on an individual scale, we can't question that. If I were to pull up into a parking lot and as I'm driving through looking for a parking space, I see some nefarious guy in a long dark trench coat with ski mask on and stuff like that, and I look at him and he looks at me, and I go and I pull into a parking space and he starts kind of making his way over in my direction. As I kind of see him come in my direction, I change directions a little bit. Maybe I kind of alter my path, and then he alters his path so that he's still set to kind of make that connection with me, and so on and so forth. If we looked at that type of situation, we would say that my situational awareness started when I made eye contact with that individual. And then I continued to monitor things because I was in kind of a heightened state of awareness. I moved from observation into orient mode, where I'm now fixated on this guy, and so on and so forth. And throughout this whole process, I'm weighing out different decisions. What am I going to do? I alter my path, he alters his path, and it seems like we're just destined to meet one another. And it seems to be by his design. If I did nothing in that circumstance and I ended up getting dead, there would be 1,000 people on YouTube or on the interwebs or whatever that would be looking at my death and saying, "Oh, what a fool! He didn't pay attention. Situational awareness. OODA and all this stuff." People will be screaming all this stuff for decades to come. If I did alter my path and I changed directions, and maybe I took some action, I got back in my vehicle and I retreated, or maybe I kind of prepared myself for the confrontation or whatever, people would say, good on you for paying attention. And even if that guy made contact with me and was like, "Sir, do you have any change?" and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't," and then we just went our own way, people would still recognize that, you know what? You were prepared in the event that something did happen, in the event that that guy did pull out a gun or a knife, or in the event that he did try to assault you. You were prepared, you were paying attention. Good on you. Situational awareness and all this ninja stuff. But we live in a society right now where we've already made eye contact with a nefarious enemy. He has altered directions multiple times. No matter how many times we have altered our path so that we didn't actually intersect with this individual, we have altered our path and he continues to alter his. Over and over again, we step back off of our beliefs and convictions. Over and over again, we alter our path, and he just alters in turn, constantly looking for us to concede ground, constantly looking for us to change course so that he can eventually back us into a corner that we can no longer get out of anymore. One of the things that kind of I hear a lot is this whole idea that fear is powerful, and then some people will say, no, suffering is more powerful than fear and stuff like that. I'll tell you what's more powerful than any of that. Hope. And I don't say that in some sort of awe-inspiring, encouraging kind of way. But hope is more powerful than anything else. As long as people believe that there is still a chance that this would-be attacker is not going to pose a threat to them, they'll continue on that same course until they actually make interaction with this individual and then they end up in the back of an ambulance or something like that, or on a YouTube video. As long as they believe that there's still a chance that things can turn around, it doesn't matter how many times you alter your path and he alters his, and you guys are still you're ending up on a collision course for disaster. It doesn't matter. As long as there is still, it doesn't even have to be a rational amount of hope. As long as there is still some level of hope, people will continue on the path that they're on, and they'll turn a blind eye to what it is that's coming to them. You see, I hear more and more people talk about, I've got faith. All right, and that's cool. And believe me, I'm a person of faith, so I am all for that. But our faith has to be rooted in truth. It just does. Otherwise, it's not faith, it's wishful thinking. And to even kind of take it further than that, it's not just wishful thinking, it's a lot of times in our case, the reason why we're thinking wishfully, the reason why we're hanging on to this false sense of hope is because we are so connected, so addicted to the things of this world that we absolutely refuse to let it go. We absolutely refuse to see that America is not burning, it's burnt. And I don't say that as some sort of anti-patriotic gesture or anything like that. It doesn't give me any sort of joy or anything like this. In fact, recognizing the truth is the surest way to take some sensible action towards getting things back to where they need to be. We hear this all the time when we're talking about addicts and stuff like that, addicts on drugs or alcohol or any kind of substance and stuff, they cannot make a change in their life until they first recognize the truth that they are in fact addicts. And by the same token, we as a people, as a society, as Americans, I'm just using this broadly as us Americans, but this is worldwide, we cannot make a change and put any sort of faith in anything that's not based on truth until we first come to the realization that we are hopelessly addicted to the materialism of our Western culture and realize that is what the underlying motivation is for us to hang on to what we have. It's this idea that if I can just make it 2 more years to retirement, if I could just get through this hill, if I could just kind of get right over the edge, if I could just make it a little bit longer, then I would be good. But what is it that you're placing your hope in? Your hope is in some sort of materialistic thing, that your retirement is still going to be good, that whatever, that the world is going to stay as it is, even though you recognize that it's kind of gone off course, it's going to stay as it is for just a little bit longer, and then whatever your action is going to be, then you can alter your course, then you can respond to the potential threat that's coming your way. But it's a hopeless addiction to this world. And as the drug dealers of society, if you want to look at it that way, as they kind of pull back from what they're giving you a little bit, as they start to water down the drinks that they're giving you in the hopes that you will long for it more and more people are grasping for that next bottle, they're grasping for that next drink, they're grasping for that next high. And it's just getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and it's only making them want to grasp more. And as they grasp more, they're willing to give up more and more and more. Instead of realizing that we are hopeless addicts addicted to the things of this world, we're selling ourselves in deeper and deeper and deeper. And when it comes to the faith issue, in the book of Jeremiah, it talks about how, God had told Jeremiah that they were going to be sold into slavery, that they're going to end up being conquered by Babylon, and all these things were going to come. And Jeremiah's going around and he's saying, hey, we're screwed. We've rebelled against God, and all of these things are going to be happening. And it talks about how the ruler at the time was listening to the words of these false prophets. And these false prophets are saying things like, God is going to rescue us. God is going to come in and fight our battles for us. God is going to do all these things. And that sounds like a lot of the message today. Nothing wrong with positivity. Nothing wrong with encouragement. Nothing wrong with hope and faith. But it's got to be rooted and grounded in truth, or else it's not. It's not really motivated by faith in God. It's motivated by what God can do for you. God is going to give me my next high. God is going to allow me to stay connected to this world just a little bit longer. But you've abandoned God a long time ago. And that's what Jeremiah told them. God's not on your side anymore, because you're not seeking God for God. You're seeking God for what He can do for you. You're seeking God. Your faith is based on a promise that God never said that He would do. That He's going to restore things to this world, and you're going to be able to go right back to your materialism and stuff like that. And God's like, I never promised you that. I promised you that if you sought me, that I would take care of you. But that's not where we're at. So I hope that more and more people start to, and I hate to use this analogy because I hear this a lot from the retards, the doom and gloomers and stuff like that. And I certainly don't want to fall into that category, but by the same token, I don't want to buy into a lie either. I don't want to sit there and just believe in something that is just utterly false, that I can look at the trending evidence from 20 years ago, where we were, and look at it to where we're at now. Things are not trending in a positive direction. I can look back 50 years ago to where things were and look at it now, and they weren't trending in a positive direction then. We have been in a decline for a long period of time, and somehow it's gotten to be patriotic to buy into a lie that if we just have hope, if we just have faith, God is going to pull us out. Pull us out from what and put us where? Pull us out from the consequences of our decisions and put us right back into a state of materialism? I don't know what God you're listening to, but that's not the God of the Bible. That's the God of this world. Things aren't burning. They're burnt. And the sooner that we recognize that, and that we detach from the things that have such a tight grip on us, our retirements, our careers, our whatever, the sooner that we let go of those things, we keep a loose grip on the world, and we take all of our strength and we grip as tight as we can on Christ, the sooner that happens, the better off we're going to be. Because these things are going to go in this way. They've already been said that they are. I mean, it's already been prophesied they're going in this way. And they are. And the sooner that we just come to grips with that, the better off we're going to be. Because building your faith on something that God has not promised because of some health, wealth, prosperity preacher that, God's going to pull us out. That's what was happening to the false prophets in Jeremiah's day. They were saying, just trust God. He's going to fight this battle. And you know what? God was telling Jeremiah that I never said that. And sure enough, they got sold into Babylon, and all those people got captured and stuff because they were putting faith in what God could do for them, so that they can continue with their adulterous lifestyle, so they can continue in the materialism of the day. They wanted to be rescued from the consequences of their decisions. They didn't want to be changed in their minds or changed in their hearts. They wanted what God could give them. They didn't want God. So, anyway, I hope more and more people kind of start to wake up and come to a place of repentance and recognize that, because that's the only way you're going to be able to pull through what's coming. So, God bless.